Finished up at Magic, and my studio session got cancelled today, or postponed rather, to tomorrow. So I need to pick up some cat food, and then I thought, because I'm so tired, I'm gonna take a nap when I get home, but nah, there's work to be done. So let's get this work. I'm going to export what's known as separates or stems, so that it can be ready for mixing and mastering, and so that by the time Juice comes again to finish on more vocals, and I can give him some of the sessions that have been completed. In the meantime, for him to send off, his brother-in-law in the UK is going to be doing the mixing and mastering on his project. And it's cool to send it off nice and early, so that if there are any issues, then we can always re-record or redo things. So that's cool to have, while we're still in, the process of recording, sending off some sessions that we think are complete. And if they pick up any issues on that side, it's nice to have a fresh pair of ears, to listen to your work and to what you've done, objectively, with no bias, and then, they can offer their opinions, and if there's anything that we need to change or add or they can take it away on that side. Then, we're still in that mode of recording, then it's easier to fix. And we'll keep on sending stuff as soon as we're done with it. So I'm going to be doing that. But before I do that, I need to finish some more Photoshop work for Hijab Fashion Week and my wife. There's one more designer that I need to complete a poster for. I don't know if it's each day or each week that they highlight a new or one of the designers that's going to be featured at Hijab Fashion Week. So I'm just going to finish that poster, then I'm done with that, get to exporting the stems. I'll show you what that looks like in a bit. It does take some time, and then hopefully, if there is time before lunch, then I'm also going to get to pulling in the footage that I've been filming for this diary over the past few days, start editing it and putting it together and putting it out. Okay, so just finished this final poster, and now I'm ready to move on to exporting those stems. It's looking good. So since I don't have a program like ScreenFlow to show you the screen clearly, I'm just busy exporting separates, but I'm doing it a little differently, and some people might say, oh, that's a little bit tedious, why don't you just bounce in place? For those who know the Logic program will know what I'm talking about. But it's just that I'm a little bit paranoid over the quality of sound before and after bouncing the instrument. So what I have here are all the MIDI tracks of what I've done with the track instrumentation wise, and what I'm doing now is all these MIDI files I'm now converting to WAV files, and then importing it back into the session, and then later on I'm going to delete all the MIDI files so that it can be ready for mixing and mastering. So this is the original vocal session for one of the songs. Yes, that's a lot of tracks, a lot of vocal tracks for one of the songs that myself and Juice produced together. So I've already done 2 tracks, the kick and the percussive snare. That sounds more like a bongo or conga, but I'm just going to show you, and I'm doing it in order of my drums first and then all the other instrumentation. So I'm just going to find very quickly one of the other instruments, like there's sort of an echo kick, like a hall kick that I have layered under my main kick, and it only comes in on the 1. So this is what it sounds like with all of it together. There's just a little bit of time in the beginning. So you'll hear like that echo behind the kick. That's because I've layered it with a whole kick that sounds like this on its own. All right, that together with the main kick. All right, so the main kick is just there for that attack. Then obviously that's beneath it, this little echo kick that I have here. And what I want to do is I want to make the job of the mixing and mastering engineer as easy as possible. So I'm going to export this with the effects that I have on it, and but I'm also going to keep the original session. You'll see that I've renamed this to the name of the song and adding pre-mix to it. But the original session will also be in the folder, because luckily the mixing engineer is working in the same program. I think he's working in Logic X and I'm working in Pro 9, so the session should open on his computer as well, on his system as well. So now what I do is I solo the track. Obviously the mono tracks are bouncing mono. This is a stereo track. The kick itself was mono, but this echo or hall kick was in stereo. That's layered beneath the kick. I look at the level that it's at. I remember that, 14.6. But now I put it back to where it's supposed to be at 0. All right. And just test to see if that's not going to clip. Okay, so it is quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a gain plug in here to decrease the gain a little bit, the input gain. So here's the gain. That was clipping by like 3.8, so I'm just going to put it at -4. And if I test it now, alright, so it's just about under 0. That's cool. So I'm going to then export this, Command B. If I was doing a solo, not a solo, a mono instrument, I'll be doing it differently. If I come across another mono instrument, I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just changing this to hall kick. It's PCM because I'm exporting in WAV. I keep it the settings the same, 44, 100, 24-bit. It's WAV, all of that. And then bounce. It'll take a few seconds. It's obviously taking a little bit longer than usual because I think it's because of the effects that I have on the channel itself. Alright, so now what I do is I'm going back to, because it's laid under the kick, I'm going to put it next to the kick. So I'm going to add a channel, add a track, audio track, and it's obviously in stereo, that one. Create the track. Then go to the folder where I exported the stems to. I had it open earlier. And there we go. So now you'll see it's there, and I just drag it back into the session. And that's why it's going to take a little bit of time. But if you tell me that the sound quality will be the same, if I just say bounce in place, I'll take your word for it, and I'll do it like that from now on. It's just, I'm a little bit paranoid, but feel free to add in the comment section if you think I'm being a little bit paranoid with this. So remember that I had the original hall kick at -4.6. So I'm just going to go back there, and I'm going to turn off the gain plugin, or take it out completely even, and then put this back at -14.6 and see where it hits the level, because obviously it's going to be different with. So it's hitting at -10. Okay, so I think the hall kick I can actually put -10 and it will hit at the same, because obviously with the gain and all of that. So I'm just going to unsolo the hall kick there and actually mute it altogether. move it up here out of the way, and then it should sound the same like it did before. Yep, that's right. And just to show you very quickly how we do a mono export, I know it's muted now, but I just wanted to show you very quickly. So let's say it's the kick that I wanted to export. I would obviously solo it, and then I would go to the mixer and go all the way to the master track, and then you would click those two circles to make it a mono, and then instead of typing in or selecting Command B for it to export, then it's still going to export in stereo. You actually click on that word bounce over there, and then that will create a mono track. Okay, obviously rename it and all of that kind of thing, and click bounce. We're not going to do it now because I've already done the kick. Okay, so I got one more song to play, and then I'll wrap up here at the Sound of Ackerman's. Then I'm going to pick up some food for the fam, and then the wife and I are going to head out to a movie night with Magic 828 AM. We recently hosted a competition with New Metro in Canal Walk, the VIP cinema, for Going in Style, a premiere of the movie Going in Style that stars Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, and Alan Arkin. And a few of our listeners got to win tickets to go and see the premiere tonight with us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm in need of a really good comedy to just unwind and relax with some good company.